For today's recipe, we'll be preparing some bison ossobuco. Here are the ingredients you'll be needing. Some bison shank, some sweet red peppers, some button mushrooms, some elephant mushrooms, Spanish onions, fresh garlic, fresh rosemary, fresh thyme, beef stock, tomato sauce, and don't forget the red wine. So I've taken the liberty of marinating my bison shanks with some fresh rosemary, thyme, salt, and pepper, and we'll start the cooking process for now. I like to work on high heat and basically searing my meats and keeping all those flavors within. Now you want to take your shank and you want to place it in flour. The reason we're doing this is not only to give it a good sear, but the flour will allow the sauce to get the thickness that you're looking for. You don't want a liquid sauce. It's very important when you put any piece of meat into a hot pan not to move it around. Basically, you want to let it sit and get the crisp that you're looking for. So basically, let your meat sizzle at high heat, and very important, don't move it around. If you do move it around, what's going to happen is that your meat is going to bleed and you'll be boiling your meat instead of searing it. And once in a while, you can have a look to make sure you're getting the color that you're looking for. You can see here, the colors that we're getting is basically caramelization. And don't worry about your meat rolling up. This is actually what is going to keep your meat together. And once it has been seared, you want to keep it in or place it in the dish that you'll be cooking it. So you want something that is pretty deep, maybe 2.5 to 3 inches high. And all of these flavors here is where you're going to get most of your taste. So we're going to add a bit of butter. Don't worry about it. And you want to add your aromatics. So basically, your Spanish onions, your chopped garlic, and you want to let these sear a bit. This brown color that you're getting is from what we call the butter, which is becoming a hazelnut color, is where you're going to get most of the flavor out of your butter. And once it's seared a bit, you want to add your vegetables. Start with your peppers. Sweat your peppers a bit. You can do this by spoon as well. And add your mushrooms. At this time, you can choose to add your fresh rosemary. So four shanks, 1 stick of rosemary, and 2 twigs of thyme will be sufficient. Our next step is one of my favorites, it's the red wine. So here's the sound that you want to hear. If you don't hear the sound, you're not doing it right. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm actually deglazing my pan. I'm going to get all of those sugars from my meats, all of the sugars of the vegetables and aromatics that I've put in. So if you notice, there's not much liquid left, but all of this red wine is actually incorporated into the aromatics and the vegetables. At this time, you want to add your beef stock. And again, depending on the quantity that you're making, you want to go 4-to-1 on your beef stock and tomato sauce. So I have 4 beef stock and 1 tomato sauce. Tomato sauce is basically going to give me the acidity that I'm looking for in my dish. You want to let this preparation simmer for about 1 to 2 minutes, no more. At this point, we can turn off the stove and just pour it over. At this point, you want to cover your dish and slow cook it at 425 degrees for 2 to 2¼ hours. Because the ossobuco is a darker dish, because of your gravy and your tomato sauce, when you plate it, you want to use lighter colored vegetables. And there you go, Bison ossobuco.